I'm putting POR 15 in stages on my frame. I'm not doing it all at once. I'm doing it per project that I'm tackling, where I have to clean up the frame anyway, or clean up stuff off the frame anyway. This one, I'm replacing. I have to rebuild my calipers, and I'm replacing all the brake lines. So I figured while I was replacing the brake lines, I'd POR the frame everywhere it runs. I'm gonna do this in sections. Stand back, guys. I got Car Plus Premium, but I'll rebuild the rear suspension in time. I clean stuff as I fix them. So as you can see, I've never touched the half shafts, obviously the shocks, trailing arms. But this I did take off, the bumper and the shock, just to POR it. Down here, since the brake line runs right on the other side of this, I figured I'd pop this trim off and just clean it up and POR this side too. It's pretty easy. My frame's obviously pretty rust free. The tools I'm using to do all this is basically a drill with the wire brush. Even I use a Dremel to get into real tiny little spaces to clean it off, and a crap ton of brake cleaner. I also etch the frame with the POR stuff. I mean, here's just a pile of some of the crap I've scraped off the frame so far. It's a pretty gross job. You're gonna get dirty as hell and wash your hands a million times. You can kind of see where I did the frame down there. I've already kind of done the fronts. I POR'd right there. Basically anywhere the brakes, the brake lines ran, I painted the brackets and I POR'd the stuff. I also POR'd the steering box there. That was all by hand. I didn't take it off or anything, so underneath is still kind of undone. Here you can see the front where I just sort of stopped when I rebuild the suspension. I'll fix that part. But I POR'd the frame. There's the steering box. Those are brand new lines. I painted them also. They're just steel. They're not stainless steel. I hear those are. Let me line this up. POR'd in there. You can kind of see the portioning valve, and cleaned up the canister and everything. Here's underneath by the portioning valve. I'm still just about ready to run the rear brake line to wrap this up, but I POR'd, there, and then kind of stopped here. And this part, I've prepared it somewhat. I'm not done cleaning it yet, but I've scraped off a lot, and then I'll do all the way back, because the brake line runs all the way there. I took down my exhaust for this so I could get underneath it, but it's relatively clean. The this line here is an emissions line. I'm just going to clean it up. I'm not going to pull it out. It goes way back in there. It's not going to be as easy as a brake line, which I will have to bend, especially to get through this section here. This is the passenger side I did. Again, stopping there because I'm going to do that when I do the suspension. You can kind of see I did it through there also. Didn't do the top because the fuel lines are on there. When and if I ever replace the fuel lines, I'll POR the top of the frame. It goes all the way through there. Here's the passenger side frame. Still need to install the caliper and do the brake lines, obviously.